join me. Welcome to my channel. I'm really pleased that you're here with me today and going to share in this journey. Today we're going to be using the Crafter's Companion Precious Memory book dies, and we're going to be making this album here. So this is the album we're going to make. It's a baby album that I've made. The walkthrough to this album is on my channel. I will put a link in the top hand corner there, so if you want to click on that, it will take you to that to the walkthrough of that album, so that you can see what we're going to be making. So without further ado, let's get into the album. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you two different sorts of pages that you can make for this album. So how I've done it in the walkthrough, I just gave you the one page. I wanted to just do something a little bit different in our for our album on the tutorial. So in the baby book one from the walkthrough, you only had the page pocket was at the side here. So but in this book here, this is just a demo book that I did just to work out the dies for myself. So I've actually done a top loading pocket as well, as you can see here, so you can put a photo mat in the top rather than at the side. So the choice is yours. You can either use a combination of the two or just one of the other. It's really up to you, but I just wanted to give you a bit of another idea on how to use them. So getting into the album, you will need, as I say, you will need for this tutorial, you will need the Crafter's Companion special, the Crafter's Companion Precious Memory dies. Now you don't need to just use these dies. You could use the tonic ones because they do their own spine die as well, if you wanted to, or you could make up your own. I have got tutorials on my channel on how to make up the spine without a die, so you could I will put that link up as well, so that you can refer to that on there in case you haven't got the dies. But for this I've just used the die. I had these for a long time, so, and I hadn't used them, so I wanted to give them a go and take them out and give them a spin, as they say. So we are going to be using this one. Again, I will put all the links down to these in the description box down below, so if you want to do some shopping, then you can do. But this is called the album spine. This is the dimensionals, and yeah, it doesn't give me just says dimensional album spine, and this is to make the 6x4 album. I know that now I think Crafter's Companion have got they've got a bigger some bigger spines as well, but I bought this before this was their first release, so I've only got the 6x4. So you will need that. You will also need the Dimensionals waterfall card, and this is also Crafter's Companion because I used that. And the other one that I've used is this one here, sorry, which is the Dimensionals tabbed page and purse card. So you will need that one as well. But if you haven't got these dies, don't worry about it. You can make this album without using dies, okay? It's just because I had them, I wanted to give them a whirl and see what, you know, what I could make with them. So those are the dies that you'll need. You will also need a die cutting machine. I have the Gemini, the big one. You can use the small Junior, but you will have to put the die through again twice, move it down and then do it again twice. bit too much of a faff for me, so I've just got the big one, so which I've had for years. So I'm just going to use the big one, the A4. If you haven't got a Gemini but you've got a Sizzix or a Spellbinders or another die cutting machine out there, as long as it's the big A4 one, no problem. As I say, you can use the smaller ones, but it just means that you will have to move the die down, then cut it, and then move it down again and cut it again, so that you can get your cut. So you will need those. You will need your paper pads of what you're going to use. Now I've got 6x6. Now I've got a couple of ones here. I used the Sweet Baby Girl for the one in the walkthrough, so I thought we used the boy, the Sweet Baby Boy. But I've also found that I've got these ones in my stash as well. So Rockabye Baby, also by Echo Park. These are really nice as well. And the Rockabye Baby, which is for the girl. So they're really nice papers as well. So yeah, so again, you don't need to use baby ones if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. Now the cardstock that I'm going to use white. Now for the outside covers and for our spine mount, I'm going to use a thicker I think this is 300 GSM. It might even be 280. I think it's 300, yeah. I'm going to use the 300 GSM white card. This is just your bog standard white craft card that I say craft card, just white cardstock. And then for the pages on the inside and all of my cuts, I'm going to use a slightly less weight card at a 220. That's because I don't want to bulk my album out too much with the 300 GSM. I wanted to go down some weight, but I needed the weight for the covers. But if you haven't got the two weighted cards, you could put 2 sheets of the 220 together, and that would give you that extra stability as well. Okay, so first of all, we're going to cut our spine. Now as you can see, let me put it on some white, and then that's better, we can see it now. So as you can see with the spine, you've got these crosses. Now the crosses, they are going to marry together. So what we'll do is, if we cut this out, then I'll show you what we do with that. Now I'm going to cut it out twice. Now the reason I'm going to cut it out twice is so that I can mark on one and then use the other. So you will only need to cut out one. So when I come back, I would have cut them out. So time jump. So I've cut out my 2. Now this is the one I'm going to work on just for the moment, just to show you what I'm going to do. Because you can't really see where the score lines are, I'm going to mark it. Now you don't have to do this. This is just me demoing to show you. So this one I'm going to put aside because this is the one I'm going to use in my book. So I'm going to get my pencil out, and one that's sharpened would be preferable. Now if you can see, no you can't see, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark these lines so that you can see. It doesn't matter what kind of card that you use, it sometimes never shows up on camera. And I think because it is very sunny here today, it is even harder. So it's very warm. I think it's the warmest day of the year so far. So I do apologise if you can hear the pigeons and doves in the background cooing. As I say, it's so warm here today, I've had to open my window. So now you can see all my lines. Now I'll mark these. Now on the die you've got like a little indent of some crosses. Okay, now that's going to show you what's going to happen. Now the two crosses, they need to go together, okay, and then that forms your spine, okay, sorry, not your spine, your hinge. But before we go and fold them all, we're going to put a double-sided tape. Now on the back you've also got some crosses, okay, or they're actually on the front as well, but the indent. So the crosses, these are the ones that you are going to put your double-sided tape onto. So it's two big ones and one skinny one, okay. So you're going to put your tape on the two bigger ones and leave the skinny one, okay, or the thin one, okay. So it's these two, thin one, 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 okay. So the ones that have got, let me just do this and then you can see. The ones that have got the squiggle on is where you're going to put your double-sided tape. Now I'm using score tape. I always use score tape. Now this is the 1/4 inch or score tape. It's really good. Now I'm going to put my score tape onto my other spine. So you're going to put you've got a right side and a wrong side of your die. Now the right side, you will have a nice beveled edge, okay, on the right side of your die when you've die cut your card. So you want to turn it over where you've got that sharper edge, because that's the back side of your work. So working on the back side, we're going to put our double-sided tape. So I'm just going to bring it round this way. So I'm going to miss this first thin one and put my double-sided tape all the way to the bottom on those thicker pieces of paper. Okay, like so. Now you're going to do that on all of them. Now if you want to use wet glue, you can do. I would say if you're going to use, I would maybe use a combination of the two. And if you see, I'm not going to use the glue on this part, for the simple reason is it will just take too long for it to cure and dry. So but what I would do if I was making this to give it as a present, I would put my double-sided tape on, but then put a layer, a strip of glue as well, and then hold them in place with the little bulldog clips like this, and then that will keep everything, that would help everything to stick. So I'm just burnishing these down, just to get them so that there's no air bubbles in my tape. Okay, just going to get a pokey tool and take off the first two double-sided tapes. Okay, so I've taken off my first two here. So then I'm going to fold them over. So I'm going to fold it over so that it's on that score line and push down, okay, and then where you've got your too thin part, you're going to fold that back, okay, in a bit of a concertina type way, okay. Then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to fold that score line back that way. Okay, so that creates your first hinge. Okay, there we go, like so. So we'll do that again. So we'll take off just 2 of the tape, turn it over, fold that back so that it folds on that score, burnish that down, and then again fold over from one of those thin score lines and then fold back. Okay, so carry on doing that until you've done all of them. Last 2, 1, 2. Okay, fold that over, turn it over, and then fold and fold. So then that is our spine, our hinge system all done. Okay, that's brilliant. It's all done brilliantly. So now what we need to do, now in the die set, it hasn't got this, so you're going to have to cut them, you're going to have to cut it yourself. Now when I say that, all it is a spine cover. Now as you can see, you've got this here. I personally don't like to see that. I like to have it covered. So what I do is I make a spine mount. Okay, we're going to cut the spine mount now. Now, for the spine mount, you can have it 2 ways. So you can either have it where you have your spine, sorry, your hinges curved like that, or you can have it where they're straight like that, like I've done in my book. Again, the choice is yours. I will show you both. So if you're going to have it curved, these are the measurements that you need. You will need to cut them at 4 by 3. I think that's right. And then you need to give it a half an inch score line on either side. So when I say either side, so you've got your 3-inch going across, and you need to score it half an inch on one, rotate it and do the half an inch on the other. Okay, fold that down. Now the cardstock that I'm using for this is the thicker one, so it's the 300 GSM. So what you then need to do is match up. So you will put on, first of all, you will join the 2 score lines together. Okay, then you'll put your double-sided tape along, and then you will join the score lines. Once that's stuck in place, you will then join the score lines to the next score. Okay, and then that will then create that nice curve. Okay, it's not going to work now because obviously I need to have the one side one side stuck before it will allow me to do it. But you could do it will end up looking a bit like that. Okay, so because this will be quite rigid, but it would be this bit here that's curved. But if you're going to do the flat spine, you will need these measurements here. So again, using the 300 GSM card, you will cut it at 4 inches by 2 7/8. 2 7/8. And then you're going to score this again at half an inch again on either side, like we've done there. So one side flip it, rotate it round and do the other side. Okay, like so. Score them down like that. Okay, move that out of the way. Bring in your double-sided tape, and we're just going to put our tape on those edges of that glue strip. Okay, like so. There we are, just folding them over. Okay, so taking off your double-sided tape backing, only off one side for the moment. Fold that over. And again, joining up them to the score line. So the score line there, this score line here, and the score line that you've just taken off. Join them up. Like so. Oops. It's a little bit tricky, but once you've got it, you've got it. So one. And then the other. I think that's right. And then we're going to just fold that bit over, and then before we start with sticking this down, we need to put some double-sided tape onto the backing here to help it stick in place. So you can put thicker double-sided if you wanted to, or if you've got it. You could use glue again as well, but I'm just going to use this stuff that I've got here. And it doesn't have to be on all of it, you can just have it on some, and wouldn't you know it, that's run out. Now I will put in a link to the score tape as well in the description down below if you want to buy some of this. It is, I think it's the best one there is. I don't use anything. The only other, I was going to say I don't use anything else, but that wouldn't be telling the truth because I do. I use red liner tape. That works really well. I've also got an ATG gun as well. Which is like a massive big tape runner, and they work, that works brilliantly as well. But I must admit I haven't mastered the ATG gun yet. I keep trying, but I haven't mastered it. I'm trying. There we go. So once you've taken all your backing off, you can then take off the backing off the end of your hinge, the spine mount. Now I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to work from one side, and just push it down so that it sticks, like so. And there we are. So then that is then the spine mount done. Now I've just got an extra bit of glue on there, and I don't like it, so I'm just going to take that bit off like so. Okay, so just giving these an extra fold. So that then is the basic then part of our book done. So now we need to cut our front and back covers. Now for those, you've got a choice. Again, if you didn't want this curve, this decorative edge, you don't have to have it. We can cover that up, okay? Again, it's up to you. I quite like it. I think it's quite a nice quite a nice feature. So, working with the thicker card again, you're going to cut your card at 6 by 4. Okay. So 1. 2. 6 by 4. So this then is the start of your front cover. So if you want to cover that decorative edge, you're just going to put your outside, your cover over the top of it, like so. Okay, so that then covers it. So with it, without it. So again, that's up to you on how you do that. So I think because this is a mail book, I might do it without. So that's with it. Okay, and then this will be without. Okay, so you'll need to cut 2 of these, so 2 of the 6 by 4s. Okay, so for this we need to put our double-sided tape on. Now I'm going to put it along onto the spine. Don't go right to that that scored line already. I don't know if you can see that. So I haven't gone right to, I've probably left about 1/8 of an inch. So what I'm then going to do is this bit here I'm going to put glue on. So let's just take off those excess pieces of double-sided. So 1, 2, 3. Then lining up your card with the top and your bottom edges. Oh, I forgot to put the glue on, didn't I? So the glue is just going on the end piece. I might put it in between just to help with that bit of wiggle. But I don't think you really need it so much with this. Oops. She says, and gets it stuck. Okay. There. So that's one side. Now do the back or the front, whichever you're doing. Oh, I'm melting today. I'm melting. It's so hot. I should do this in the morning when the sun is not at the back of my house. So that's coming off. Just put a bit of glue on that. Okay, glue on this decorative edge. There we go. That is going to be my back. That's going to be the front, like so. So that then is the basis of our book. We've done it already. How quick and easy is that? So, if you want to cover these bits up,
I don't have an answer for that.
She does that all the time. Right, if you want to cover that in, then I would just add another piece of the same 6x4, and then that will cover that up as well if you want to. For the pages, it depends on which page you're going to make. So if I show you two of them, then you can then decide which page you want to make. Whether you want to make a combination of the two or just one or the other. Again, choice is yours. But you're going to start with your A4 cardstock as well. This is the 220 GSM, so it's the thinner weight. So you're going to start by cutting your paper at 8.5 by 6. Okay. Now on the 8.5, you're going to do a score line at 1/2 inch. I don't think that's right. Like so. And then you're also going to score it at 4. So fold over like so, and then you create yourself a pocket. So we'll do that again just so that you can see. So cut your paper at 8.5 by 6. Score it along with the long 8.5 measurement down the side here. Score that at 1/2 inch. Okay. Fold that over and then score it at 4. Like so, and then fold that over like that. So that then makes your page. So if you're doing those ones, you'll need 6 of those in total. So again, we're going to start at 8. So it's not 8.5 this time, it's 8. And then this one is 6.5. Like so. You're going to score this in the middle again at 4. And then you're going to score the short edge down the side of your trimmer. You're going to score that at 1/2 inch. Okay, so you've kind of got a score in the middle. So let me mark it for you. So you've got your score line here. Okay, and a score line here, like so. Okay, so this is scored at 4 inches and this is scored at 1/2 inch. Okay, along them. Next we're going to just cut a little triangle up to that center score, like so. Can you see a little triangle bit there? I seem to be moving over again. Okay, make sure I come out, sorry, come out. So we've got our little triangle there. So we're going to fold the center score, and then one of these score lines we're going to chop off. So I'm going to chop this one off this side. So I'll turn it this way and you can see. So I'm just cutting on that score line, okay? And then that is going to hide that cut edge. Now if you find that you've got a lot of pull against that cut edge, just trim a little bit extra off, just a tiny bit, just so that it sits snugly. All the way down to the edge there. It's not going to matter because you're not going to see it. It's just to help it so that it sits nice and flat. So let me just get a bone folder just to burnish them score lines a bit more. Okay, so then that is your second page, or your alternative page. Now as I've gone to score this, I've scored it and it's not sat straight. That's better. And then that is then the two different pockets, pages that you can do like that. So to put them into our album, so for the pocket where you've got the pocket at the top, so that's this side, okay, you'll need to put your double-sided tape on the inside of your glue tab, like so. Now put the double-sided as near to this edge as you can. Okay, now with this you need to make sure it's flat. So how I do that is I tend to push all the air out, and then I push the part with all the double-sided tape, your glue tab, down, and then that should give you a nice flat pocket which we can then put onto our hinge. But before we start putting our hinges on, we need to trim off our corners. Now I need a nice big thick pair of scissors for this. So all you do is you're just going to angle them so that you chop off the corners on both sides of your hinges, like so. And again on the other side. These bits go everywhere. And you could use, because it's got the crosses on the edges, you could use one of the crosses diagonal as your waypoint. So adding your double-sided tape then, so I'm going to add the tape to the hinge, but again I'm going to put the tape as near to the top of this as I can, because what I don't want to do is when I put my pages on, I don't want to see the double-sided tape or any of the double-sided tape along the bottom. So doing it this way, you will alleviate that. So pull that off, and that one, and get in your page. Okay, I'm going to add some glue as well, because then that will help with the wiggle, to get the wiggle on. Oops, that's a bit too much. Okay, so making sure that the pocket is at the top, I'm going to just push that on and push it down as far as it will go, and make sure it's nice and level, and then burnish that down. And that then is your first pocket, your first page done. Okay, like so. So if you're carrying on doing that, I would then carry on all the way along and to do to put these ones in. But if you're going to then put do this one, again we're going to do exactly the same. We're just going to take off a tiny bit of a smidge along that top edge, so that helps with the page sitting nice and flat. Add our tape to that glue tab, and working, I'm just going to burnish that down. Okay, push, push, push. There we go, that's that. And then you can put, then that goes in like so. And then you would put your double-sided tape along, do exactly the same as what we did with this page, but you'll stick it in this side like that. Okay, and then that then fits nicely in there. I've put all my pages in now. I've gone with the same design as I did with my the baby girl album. But again, I've given you those two different pages that you could use if you wanted to. Thanks again for watching this tutorial. In part 2, coming up, will be the first pages of this album. So we will use some more of the dies to create the pull-out page here with our little wraparound closure. So we'll be working on that one. So thanks again for watching. Please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Thank you if you already are. Please don't forget to hit the notification bell that will be somewhere along the screen. Don't forget to come and check me out on social medias. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and all of those. As per always, all the links will be down in the description box down below, as well as some of the shopping links of where I've bought this my products that I've used for this album. So again, thanks again for watching. Stay safe everybody, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.